Why the marriage equation? Well, a number of reasons. But you hear me talk about the marriage equation a lot here. And a lot of times you hear people thinking that it's an equation about addition. I found my better half. So a half a person finds a half a person and they come together to make a whole person. Well, not exactly, because marriage is not an equation of addition, it's an equation of multiplication. Now, go back to the very beginning before science started validating this. One of my favorite verses says, the two shall become one. Now think about that. The two what? The two people. So you got one over here and you got one over here, and they come together, and you don't get 1 plus 1 equals 2. No, you get one and another one equaling 1. Well, what does that mean? How do you get 1 blank 1 equals 1? Through multiplication. See, marriage was supposed to always be a coming together that became fruitful and multiplied. Not only little munchkins and rugrats running around the world and driving you crazy, but supposed to multiply and be fruitful, what? Of everything that's brought to the relationship. And so that's what we find. One person brings a lot of fullness and health to another person who brings a lot of fullness and health. And what happens when those become one? You get something bigger and fruitful and incredible and all of this, because it multiplies. Marriage multiplies everything. But what happens to us also, because we're not whole, complete, perfect people, we also bring less than one. I'm less than what I ought to be sometimes in the relationship. And if I'm kind of 3/4 of a person and Tori's being 3/4 of a person, we get together and what happens? Well, what, 3/4 times 3/4, that's way less than what we started with. I mean, think about the old half times a half. What does that equal? A fourth. So what does that mean? In marriage, our weaknesses can diminish us to even being less than who we were. I felt so much better before I met you, right? Well, you felt good for a moment. Yeah, we only walked down the aisle and the multiplication kicks in, and all of a sudden, happiness gets less than it was, less than you feel like you can be on your own, or if it weren't for you, I wouldn't, and everything multiplies. Our weaknesses multiply. So the marriage equation, what this is going to be about, is getting on the right side of that equation from both sides. Because even if one person is, quote, the problem person, okay, there's also ways in which I can approach the problem person. And I'm kind of kidding about that because everybody's got some part, but I can approach that situation in a better way that will help them become better instead of not. And so the marriage equation is going to get into a lot of dynamics for 3 specific groups. And I want you to identify where you are in these 3 specific groups. And then you can sign up by going to boundaries.me/marriage. And here's the 3 groups that this day is going to be for. Group number 1, some of you are really, really hurting to the point to where you feel like this is more pain than I can stand, or this is more pain than it's worth, or I don't see any hope for this, or it's just really, really bad. Okay, we're going to be talking about the principles that can turn that around. Group number 2, you're not at that point, but there's some issues that kind of keep getting in the way. Okay, I'm having spine surgery in 3 weeks. Really would appreciate your prayers. You know what I would like? I'd like for you guys to pray and God just heal me. And I'm going to go in and tell that surgeon, I'm going to call him and say, I need a new MRI, because all of my pals prayed for me and God healed my spine. And I want you to take a picture of it. And he's going to go, what in the world? We just took one. And then we'll post it for the world to know. Okay. That's my prayer request. Anyway, but I'm going to have spine surgery. Okay. I'm otherwise, I mean, I'm okay, right? Life's going okay. I can work, I can do this, I can do this, but I can't really walk. I can't really stand. In other words, I'm not totally unable to function, but I'm not functioning in the best way. And sometimes marriage is like that. You're doing okay, you're getting things done. You maybe got kids, you're raising them, and everybody's kind of. But there's this couple of issues that keep getting you from running, keep you from soaring. We're sometimes we're in that group that we're doing okay, but I wish we could resolve this one recurring dynamic or this one thing that keeps us from being all we can be. And then there's a third group where you're in a place where we have a great marriage, but oh my gosh, would I love to make it better? You know, even, Tiger Woods works on his game, right? And the best get better. So this day is going to be constructed where we're going to have how that equation works and address specifically all three of those. Because sometimes we find ourselves kind of, what do they call those things? And you're roundabout. We're kind of like not always in one column. So go to boundaries.me/marriage, May 19th. And we did this one a little different. We're going to have this one at 5 p.m. Pacific time. So maybe couples can watch it together if it had to be work during the day. And if you can't be there at that moment, you can stream it later. So you have to sign up for the live event and then you can watch it later. So gift it to your kids that are going to get married, or to somebody else that's struggling, or come yourself. We want everybody joining us on May 19th, the marriage equation.